Brendon Ayanbadejo, who was along with fellow athletes, filed a brief with the court in support of marriage equality. Along with Brendon is former New Hampshire Bishop, LGBT rights activist, the Reverend Gene Robinson, who spoke on the Mall and is pushing faith leaders to support the issue of marriage equality. Gentlemen, it's great to have you here, and I just want to show everybody, because you both had the opportunity to speak earlier outside the Supreme Court steps, and I just want to play that for everybody.
Luckily, I'm a child of the 70s, because in some states in the 60s, I wouldn't be here. So I'm a testament to progress. I'm a testament that things are changing. And in the end, love is always going to win the game.
If you've got kids, tell them you were here for them today. Then get up tomorrow thankful for the opportunity to have been a part of history and committed to the journey forward, however it takes and wherever it may lead.
Brendon, I want to start with you because you say you're a child of the 70s. You come from a multiracial family, a child that was able to come into this world because of Loving versus Virginia. Loving argued that there is no legitimate overriding governmental purpose for barring access to marriage based on race. Do you think that that same argument should be applied to sexuality?
Yes, I think so. The government is trying to dictate who we can love and whom we can marry, when actually it's a fundamental right under the Constitution that everyone will be treated equal and have equal protection under the law. So I think it falls under those parameters, and that's why we're here to fight and continue the fight so we can marry whom we love.
Bishop, the opposition would say that this is all about redefining what marriage means, which has biblically always meant, and we've been taught since we were little kids, between a man and a woman. How are people that are trying to respect their religious rights in different ways that they were raised supposed to be able to deal with changing or redefining marriage if that's what the Supreme Court is being asked to do?
You know, conservative people of faith don't speak for all people of faith, and progressive Christians and Jews and Muslims are understanding Scripture differently now. And they understand that God is love, and where love is, there God is. And God is showing up in our relationships, in our families, and more Americans, indeed a majority across all faith traditions, are supportive of the right to marry.
The opposition, though, it remains and maintains that it is not the time for marriage equality. Brendon, I know you had a chance this weekend to go and face the nation. Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council compared this issue to your recent Super Bowl win, and I just want to play what he said.
30 states, 8 additional states have the definition of natural marriage into their statutes. So we're far from being at a point America has embraced same-sex marriage. I mean, if you look at it, you know, Brendon, they won the Super Bowl by 3 points. We're at 30 to, I think, 2 states where the people have actually voted on marriage. That's a pretty widespread.
Brendon, I want to ask you, you never got a chance really to respond to that. Do you think that this really needs to be a states' rights issue? Do you think that the majority should be voting on minority civil rights?
No, not at all. This shouldn't be voted on by even the people. This is actually something that's guaranteed under the Constitution. But look at the last 2 states that did take it to vote. Those 2 states passed marriage equality. And if you look at polls out, the majority of Americans are voting for marriage equality. So not only do we have the majority of the people and states are voting for it, we also believe that it's not an opinion. Equal rights are not up to someone's opinion or up to someone's vote. This is something that is guaranteed under the Constitution.
Bishop, in the Washington Post, you write today, if today's court were one that cared about being on the right side of history, it would rule that if a couple is considered married in Massachusetts and Maryland, it must be considered married in Montana and Mississippi. But this isn't that kind of court, I'm afraid. Do you think, based on what we're hearing so far about the questions that were asked inside the courtroom, do you think that in regards to Prop 8, that the court might not come back with something wide-sweeping, very narrow, if at all?
Well, regardless of what the court does, how sweeping or not it is, it will be a step forward. I'm absolutely confident of that. And what Tony Perkins doesn't want to remind you of is that all of the momentum is on the side of justice and equality. And we are moving forward, and more Americans see marriage equality as inevitable. And so this momentum is not going to slow down. No matter what the ruling is, it will be a step in the right direction, and we will keep taking every step we need until marriage equality is a reality in this nation.
The Reverend Gene Robinson, the Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl champ, Brendon Ayanbadejo. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it.